Prepare yourselves for a battle of epic proportions between two titans. Feast upon their voices and revel in their words. This is Dueling Ogres.
Hello, Ogres, and welcome to episode 95. Thank you for joining us, as always, on this rebellious Monday evening, Earth date November 7th, 2016. I'm your host, Remington Hitchcock, and with me, as always, my co-host, Brandon Full. Say hello, Brandon.
Hi, Remington. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. Have we used the word rebellious before? I feel like we have.
You know, we might have. I haven't checked the list, and I haven't updated it since, episode 60-something. So,
What are you doing? What do you do all day?
I do millions of things, but, not all of them podcast related, but about 50% of them.
That's probably a genuine breakdown of what you do, isn't it? About 50% of the things you do are podcast related, like free time wise?
Well, honestly, yeah, kind of. Lately, it hasn't been. I've just been, with all the switching and stuff that's been going on, it's been more focusing on just learning what I need to learn for work and just trying to make sure that things are caught up. So that's really a lot of that's, I've been wanting to take the extra time to get into doing some maintenance on the website, some more stuff, fiddling around, trying to make it better. But yeah, I think it's getting to the point where I'll be able to fall back in and spend some more time on doing that stuff here real soon. So.
You ever just have this fear that all of it's just this huge waste of time?
No, because as far as it goes, this is a hobby for both of us. It's a very important, it's a very large hobby, but it falls into the hobby category, I suppose.
Yeah.
So yeah, even if for some reason it folded in on itself and we just quit doing it, it's something that I could say that I learned about. So
we'd have the memories. It's just me and you, buddy.
Yeah, just you and me.
That's how I plan on going out is killing myself, but killing you first.
Yeah. Like
in the same room, I assume.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't really be romantic if I just shot you and then lived another couple of years before I killed myself, would it?
Yeah, no, it wouldn't really mean anything at that point, because at that point you'd have time to look back on it and see what a terrible mistake that it was to kill me.
Yeah.
And then
because now nobody can work the website for me.
Yeah. God knows you haven't taken the time to learn how to do that yourself.
Yeah. I feel like that was a little bit of a jab there, Rem.
No, I would never assume for you to do anything other than bring content.
I didn't even comb my hair before I got on camera. I genuinely said, yeah, I'm not doing that. So if I can't be expected to comb my hair, you expect me to sit down and learn some fucking fruity HTML?
No, I don't.
I have motorbikes to ride. Brrr.
It's so good. What did you get up there?
I have
motorbikes.
Huh?
Other than riding your motorbikes to NASA.
Oh, that's about it, really. A lot of sweet wheelies. I learned how to ramp off of the back of okay, you know how when you're driving down the interstate and an 18-wheeler will tip over and all of the contents inside spill out and it makes a makeshift ramp? Yeah. And you can kind of hit up and ramp an Evel Knievel backflip?
Yeah.
I've been doing that a lot.
A lot.
So, surprisingly, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been keeping pretty busy.
Oh, that's good then. Yeah.
No, I've been playing my Xbox a lot. I picked up a bunch of new games for it.
Right.
So I've been playing Battlefield.
Yeah, I was gonna say again, you got a new Xbox.
Yeah, I got the 1S. I've been playing Battlefield multiplayer. I picked up Titanfall 2. I've been playing that a little bit. Pretty much just the multiplayer aspects of it, which I'm terrible at. I'm really, really not good at multiplayer first-person shooters at all.
Yeah. How are they working out for you, though? Are you still having fun?
Yeah, I mean, Battlefield multiplayer is amazing. Like, the rounds are 45 minutes, which is a long fucking time to play one game.
Yeah, totally.
But it's based on points, so they can be done. Typically, about 25 is how long a round takes.
Gotcha.
But I'm terrible at it, but I'm enjoying it a lot. I haven't tried Titanfall 2 multiplayer yet because I'm dying so much at Battlefield.
Yeah.
And Titanfall 2 has a lot more mechanics of like wall running, jetpacking around, and like so being able to run one way while shooting another and bouncing between walls. So I haven't gone into the multiplayer on that yet because I know I will just lose 1,000 times more than I do already in Battlefield.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's cool. I haven't really been doing anything myself at all. I feel like it's just I've been losing time. I feel like I've had more time than I think that I have had. I don't know if that makes sense. I feel like I have had more time to do things, but I haven't been doing them. Maybe I don't know. I haven't got used to this getting up early enough to go to work before noon thing.
Yeah,
boils down to. So like I come home and then I piddle about until Ginger gets home and then we make dinner and then I go to bed. It's not like I'm piddling around until 4 o'clock in the morning anymore because I can't really do that.
What time do you get home from work typically?
I get home at 8:30, 9 o'clock, or on a really good day like 8:15. But it seems like I come in and I wind down, and that's I don't know. That's where I'm losing this time. That's where I'm not doing the things that I feel like I should be doing.
Because of the wind down aspect of it?
Yeah. Like I'll come home and I'll catch up on a couple of my YouTube video subscriptions and just kind of piddle about.
Yeah, I found that too. It's as you work more, it seems like it's hard, at least for me, whenever I have free time, I always feel kind of guilty that I'm not doing more with my free time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I get home from work at say 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I need to go to bed by like midnight. Those 5 hours or so, I might do a little bit of something that's important, but most of it I'm going to play on the Xbox or I'm going to make dinner and lay in bed. And then as I go to sleep, I'm like, man, I just wasted all that free time doing nothing.
Yeah, it's really weird, especially if you spend some time being constructive and then all of a sudden you're not constructive.
Yeah. But I don't know. I've just been in a weird spot mentally lately, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is exactly, but like, dealing with the depression side of bipolar, I've just felt myself kind of slipping into that more hole of depression.
That malaise?
Yeah. So I've been trying to dig myself out of that because it's started to get like, it kind of, as bipolars want to do, it's kind of up and down, but it's been a lot more dragging lately. It's been like the undertow slowly pulling me further and further out.
Right.
So I've been trying to do just stuff to take my mind off of things until I kind of naturally upcycle again.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've just felt weird, like off. And I know that's what it is. And I know I've seemed weird to like coworkers and people around me. I've seemed weird a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. It's off-putting. Like mentally, it's off-putting.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing to muddle through, I guess. That where you're off and you feel off, so you just kind of have to keep to yourself and keep a low profile until it passes.
Yeah, and that's one of the benefits of, going to a doctor and taking medication is as I become more aware of it, I know what it is. As before, it's just like, oh, I'm just sad. I don't know what's wrong. Now I know that there's a scientific reason for it. There's a chemical reason. There's a way that I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So I'm more coped to, even though I still feel the same way, I'm more equipped to be able to deal with it day to day and think, it's not going to change how you feel right now, but there's a reason for it.
Yeah. Yep. And I'm sure that's extremely helpful on your end as well.
Yeah. And I take a lot of ecstasy.
Yeah.
That seems to help. Like that's something that my doctor has told me is just cram as many drugs in your body as you can when you're feeling depressed.
Right.
And you'll shoot right fucking up. You'll feel way better.
Yeah. I'm partial to PCP myself, but
Yeah, well, you do what you got to do. And I mix some of it in there. I mean, I'm not saying I'm just an ecstasy guy. I'll sprinkle some PCP, some angel dust, really any sort of methamphetamines.
Yeah. So, everybody copes in different ways, I suppose. So, this week, we thought we'd really dial into some trailers and talk about. We had a small list, and then once we got together and actually talked about it, we pulled up a couple more. So I think there are a couple of them that we're just going to fly through, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of the other ones. So.
Yeah, well, real quick, I do want to say, too, that I hope that our audio sounds a little bit better. I don't think we ever commented on it from last week.
Right.
If you listen to last week's episode, I sound real like I'm underwater almost. That was an issue. Remington and I think we mentioned that we're using a webcam now also, so we can see one another as we record from my house.
Yeah.
And for some reason, my webcam audio was picking up my microphone. It was fighting with the other microphone, so it gave me a really weird, spacey sound.
Yeah.
So we appreciate it if you listened last week, because I know there were parts I listened to it that were a little tough to get through. But for the most part, I thought it sounded all right, just not great.
Yeah. And I think I'd have to actually listen to the last one to compare the two, but I think we're pretty okay now.
Okay.
I think it's all coming through that mic. So
if not, and you're listening to this and shaking your head because I sound exactly the same now as I did on the last episode, then that's just pretty much us, I guess.
Yeah,
and
it's
how
all
we create and do things.
Just blame it on me. It's fine. It's all Rem's fault.
Or you can blame it on the alcohol if you want to.
That's stupid. Let's do this thing.
Yeehaw! Circle the wagons. It's a trailer roundup.
So, like I said, we've got a few trailers for you. That was our first official stinger. I hope you all like that.
I fucking love that. I really do.
Brandon's all over it. I sent it to him the other night.
I really want to take a moment to talk about how appreciative we, as the listeners, myself included, should be of you, Remington, for creating something like that. I feel like that's almost your magnum opus.
With that? I'm not even happy with that. I really wish I would have had another banjo to go into it. If anybody wants to
not downplay yourself on this one.
I mean, I'm just a humble guy, I guess.
Yeah. Can we hear it one more time before we go into it?
Yeah, sure. Here we go.
Yeehaw! Circle the wagons. It's a trailer roundup.
Okay.
Oh, I'm glad you like it, Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
So you told me to look up just a little bit ago before we started recording Trainspotting 2.
Uh-huh.
So were you a big Trainspotting fan?
I mean, when I saw it, I don't know, in my teens. I don't know how old I was exactly, but I really loved it when I first saw it.
Right.
It was one of those kind of subversive movies that blew my mind. Is like, they're talking about doing drugs and they're cussing a lot, and I don't know, I can't really describe it, but yeah, I did really like it at the time. It was one of those movies that I'd show my friends, like, have you seen Trainspotting yet?
Yeah. So what did you think about the Trainspotting 2 trailer then?
Well, we just watched it before we started recording. I hadn't seen it before I told you.
Right.
And I was expecting to hate it. I was expecting it to kind of look like a cash grab, just, hey, fuck it, everybody else is making sequels. Let's just make a Trainspotting sequel. Who cares?
Right.
But it really looked okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't look like – there's only so many ways I imagine you could go with Trainspotting 2.
Yeah.
Because you've got to stay sort of – you have to honor the first movie and honor the first book with how the story goes.
Right.
And pretty much everybody's just a piece of shit who is on heroin in the first movie.
Right, yeah.
So, they're doing a whole 20 years later thing and seeing where the characters are now. I mean, you see that they do drugs in the trailer, because at the beginning they say like, no, none of us have done drugs or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, I appreciate the message, at least from what the trailer shows, but it also kind of seems like it's the same message that the first movie had. Yeah. Of like, you can get a job and love your wife, but you're never really going to be happy and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Except now they've updated it to say Facebook likes and stuff like that.
Yeah. So do you think it's just kind of do you think it's going to be just kind of a carbon copy of Trainspotting, the movie anyway? Like, do you think they're going to bring any new content to it from the small glimpses that you got from the trailer?
I think they will. I do. And that could just be the hopeful in me, but it seems like it has the same themes while also maybe offering something new.
Yeah. The
Especially
cinematography
if
looked
it kind
really
of
good.
covers. Oh, I'm sorry. Whenever I talk and you talk, I can't hear you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
When you start talking while I'm talking, your mouth moves, but there's just silence.
Huh. That's weird.
So go ahead with what you were saying.
I really like the cinematography in it. The cinematography looked really good.
Yeah, and the first one had it framed shots well, and the cinematography was really good in that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if they go with the whole 20 years later, here's how aging drug users, aging alcoholics who are still trying to be cool and still trying to subvert the system while they're part of it. I mean, it's not groundbreaking. It's a story that's been told before.
Yeah.
But I think if done well, it could really resonate, because I think that a lot of our generation, into our 30s now, we were, Trainspotting wasn't specifically for us because I was, 12, 13, 14 whenever Trainspotting came out.
Right. Yeah.
So that was right before, I started to go through my phase of drinking and drugs and all that. But, there is that little bit of the mentality we had when we were younger of just, we're going to grow up to be X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And we're going to fight it, and we're not going to wear suits and blah, blah, blah. And then, cut to now, and I'm a manager at NASA, and you're working at a mattress store as a manager,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that idea of what happens when these radical ideas you have, you just need to keep tempering your expectations until they're not there anymore.
It's kind of a...
And you just say, oh, okay, I guess this is where we are now.
It's kind of a lame way to look at it.
I told you I'm not in the greatest space mentally right now.
Well, I mean,
so this is where I'm coming from.
It's true, I suppose. It's just, I've always had the mentality of just, you kind of have to roll with the punches anyway. For just life in general. Like, it's going to kick you when you're down, and when you're up, it's going to strip it away from you. And that's just how things are. So find your happiness wherever you can and hold it close. And when it gets ripped away from you, find something else that makes you happy. Because it will.
See, I feel like we're not doing the trailer roundup justice with this depressing talk right off the bat.
Well, I mean, we can get into the fun having deliciousness that is the XXX trailer.
Okay, yeah, let's go into that one next.
Okay. So Brandon came on, and my contribution to it, he brought the Trainspotting, and I brought some XXX. Apparently Vin Diesel has made another XXX movie. It's the Return of Xander Cage. What was your take on the trailer, real quick?
It kind of embodied things that I hate about movies. And I know that sounds so like fucking I'm up on my ivory tower just sucking my own dick. Like, I get the... I know that sounds so like drinking with a pinky out, but I'm not a big fan of huge explosion action movies.
Right.
That said, the XXX trailer actually looked hilarious.
Yeah.
Because you see a Michael Bay movie, and I hate to beat a dead horse here because I know Michael Bay gets crap all the time for his just huge explosion movies or whatever.
Right.
But I feel like in his movies, he's using the explosions. He's not featuring them. Like in the XXX trailer, it's very clear that they are going over the top from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say parodying it, because they're using it as a format to move the movie. So I don't know if you'd really consider it a parody.
Right.
But whereas like a Michael Bay movie, you see it and it's just terrible acting and the story shit. And then at some point a building's going to explode and somebody's going to ride down the building.
Right.
The explosion is like he just goes through a checklist. Whereas this seemed like there was a checklist of every ridiculous thing you do in an action movie, and movies will pick 2 or 3 of them, and they just went through and clicked check all.
Right.
That's what the trailer looked like to me. So for that, I can get behind it. It looks fun. I've never seen any of the XXX movies.
Have you not? See, I have. I've seen both of them. There was one with XXX, there was one with Vin Diesel, and then the other one was with
Ice Cube?
Yes, Ice Cube. I wanted to say Ice-T, and I knew that wasn't correct. So,
I thought there were 3 of them.
Nope.
Because there's Triple X State of the Union.
Yeah, that one was the one with Ice Cube.
Because I know that there was a whole thing with Vin Diesel leaving. Like,
Okay.
I don't remember why he left Triple X, but there was a reason for it.
I think he had another project that he was working on or something like that. I typed in, this is the stupidest thing that I could have done. I typed in Triple X movies into the Google without even thinking. I mean, it's all. How do you compete against that from an SEO standpoint? Like, oh, I want to know more about those Vin Diesel Triple X movies. I'm just gonna type in Triple X movies, and there's nothing but dicks and vaginas all up in my business.
I just don't think anybody but like a grandma or grandpa is typing in Triple X movies into Google hoping to find porn. I feel like the internet's been around long enough that people have specific sites they know to go to if they want to find porn.
Yeah.
I guess grandmas and like 10-year-old, 12-year-old boys at sleepovers using a computer to find pictures of boobs would type in Triple X.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I just type in porn, like if I want porn. But I mean, you're right. I do have all
Google?
of my own. Huh?
In Google, you just type in porn?
I just type in porn on Google, because I want Google to have all of my search information, properly.
You want Google to know what turns you on?
Yeah, I do. I mean, that way it can give me the proper ads that I want, and just
And when they finally get that Google drone in the next year or two.
Yeah, then I'll really, I'll be set because it'll know all of my likes and dislikes, and that way it will call me daddy. Daddy.
Remington, I've brought you another Thai lady boy. Buzz, buzz, Google.
That was way worse than what I was going for. Thanks, man.
That's how Google Drone talks, by the way. That's some insider information from NASA. That's the official voice. I didn't want to say anything, but honestly, I'm voicing the new Google Drone.
That makes sense. So there have been 3 films, including the one that'll be coming out in 2017, and then a short film, The Final Chapter, which is apparently the death of Xander Cage. Makes me wonder if it was a...
Oh, no, that's right. They did, because he wouldn't come back for State of the Union, so they killed off his character.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, they had a body double do it, and they killed him off because he wanted too much money or something.
Oh, really? I mean...
Apparently, Vin Diesel announced in 2006 that he was going to be Xander Cage in The Return of Xander Cage. So this movie has been 10 years in the making.
Yeah, because the first one was in 2002, and then State of the Union came out in 2005.
The script is being written with the guys who wrote Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, and Terminator Salvation.
Weird.
Did you see either of those?
No, I didn't. I just pulled up the wiki. But anyway, going back into it, I kind of have a crush on Vin Diesel. He's another one of my man crushes, mostly because he is a pretty big proponent of playing D&D and stuff, and you can actually find him playing D&D on the internet. Like there was I can't remember what the group was, but they invited him to come play D&D.
Man, I watched that video. If it's the same one that you're talking about, they're like sitting around a table and there's some fake moss and stuff in the background.
Yeah.
And everybody, and understandably, this is how it would be, but everybody is deferring to Vin Diesel, and it cracks me up.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there's a couple guys and there's a couple girls there, and they're doing like, there's one guy in particular, and I won't say who it is exactly because this guess is kind of shitty because I'm not shitting on the video per se, but like this guy is acting his heart out as his character.
Yeah. Like
we'll say it's an elf or whatever, but I mean, he's really pontificating and like, I draw my sword and go forth. And then it cuts to Vin Diesel and he's just like, the elf attacks. And everybody, you can see man, woman, moss is getting aroused by what he's saying. He's just, like, I'll attack him. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it is really good.
Yeah, so you want to bone Vin Diesel? Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to bone Vin Diesel. Now, if you want to see that video, you should definitely do it. I'll see if I can remember to put a link down in the description. I probably won't, so just go look it up yourself. I mean, you're an adult, for Christ's sake. Next up, we have Ghost in the Shell.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a really short, it was a teaser trailer, and it looked just about as weird as you would expect Ghost in the Shell to look.
Yeah.
And I think, I hate to say it, but there's not a whole lot, at least about the trailer itself, that I think that we can comment on. What do you think?
Honestly, I was going to say the same thing. I have never seen Ghost in the Shell all the way through, which I know kind of hurts my nerd cred because I love it. I mean, from what I've seen, I loved it.
Yeah.
I just have never sat down and watched it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I probably never will. I don't know.
Well,
so I don't really have a whole lot to say as far as the trailer goes.
I mean, it really depends on which Ghost in the Shell you're talking about. I think that, there's the movie Ghost in the Shell, and then there's the TV series, which was very heavy-handed in political commentary, looking to the future of politics and small splinter groups of the people rebelling against government agencies or stuff like that. And I don't know. There was a big outcry, especially when there was a rumor that they were going to make Scarlett Johansson look a little more Asian.
Yeah.
But there was this big outcry about that. And that's where we can really kind of talk about the meat and potatoes of it. But I think that I agree with the fact that they could have gotten a Japanese actress or an Asian actress at least to do this.
Yeah, I mean, I assume that they cast Scarlett Johansson so they have some star appeal.
Yeah.
So that they have, your average person who doesn't know anything about Ghost in the Shell is still going to go see it because it's Scarlett Johansson and they recognize her. Right. And they can bill it as like new Hollywood movie Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a little peculiar that they just gave her like the same sort of black haircut.
Yeah.
And cast an Asian actress.
I just think even if they didn't go with a Japanese actress, because I mean, I'm not going to lie, I don't really know any Japanese actresses. I think
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan is Chinese, and so is the lady who I'm going to name right now.
Lucy Liu.
Huh?
Lucy Liu?
No. I don't think Lucy Liu could pull it off, to be honest. I don't think she's hard enough.
No, and she's way past the age of this character anyway.
See, that doesn't really matter. I'm thinking Ming-Na Wen, who's playing in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She's playing Agent May in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay, so apparently Sam Yoshiba, who is the director of the International Business Division at Kodansha, the company that publishes the Ghost in the Shell manga, said to Hollywood Reporter of Scarlett Johansson, looking at her career so far, I think Scarlett Johansson is well cast. She has the cyberpunk feel. We never imagined it would be a Japanese actress in the first place. This is a chance for a Japanese property to be seen around the world.
And I don't disagree with that. Even in the manga and the animated films, she didn't really have a hugely Asian look. That being said, they usually don't draw Asian character or even Asian characters looking very Asian. They always have bigger, rounder eyes. That just seems to be the style even a serious anime takes on. They look more Western.
Why, when I searched Agent May on Google Images, the first 8 or 9 images are of her in a bra and panties?
I don't know. When I search Agent May, I get her fully clothed in S.H.I.E.L.D. gear. So
this is what I get.
That's not even her. Oh, you typed in MEI, didn't you?
Yeah.
It's just Agent May, like the month.
Oh, okay.
So that's why.
Fair enough.
So yeah. Anyway, going back to it, I don't think that the Major had to be the Ghost in the Shell character is. I can't remember what they just call her Major throughout the series because she's a Major, but I can't remember what her actual name is. It's been a while since I've seen the series. But I don't think that the actress had to be Asian, but I still think that they, in my personal opinion, I still would have seen it if it was an Asian actress.
Yeah.
Especially if it was somebody who had Western cred, like Ming-Na Wen. So, I don't know. Of course, Ming-Na might not have wanted to play a Japanese character. Because if I remember correctly, the Major actually has a Japanese-sounding name.
And, there's a problem people talk about with Hollywood whitewashing people, especially Asians.
Yeah.
I don't really pay enough attention to know. I mean, I assume that that's true. If so many people are saying it's true, it's probably true, right?
Yeah, I guess I would assume. Motoko,
but really, like, if the creator of the manga and the head of the company that runs the manga are like, yeah, she's a good choice, then really, I mean, what are you going to do?
You can't really argue with that. Yeah, exactly. And that's the case. I mean, I don't think that the Asian community particularly cares that much. I'm sure there are. But, it makes me wonder if they are Asians who have become inundated with this Western culture where we're constantly trying to pick out, whitewashing and racism and stuff like that. Because that seems to be all that we do.
Is whitewash stuff?
Well, not only whitewash stuff, but then bitch about stuff being whitewashed.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the Major's name is Motoko Kusanagi.
I mean, that's pretty Asian.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty Japanese right there. So
her name is Karen White Lady.
There you go. Yeah, see, I mean, if that was the case, then I'd be a lot more okay with Scarlett Johansson playing her, I guess. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of a catch-22. I would have liked to have seen an Asian actress just because I've always personally viewed the Major as an Asian woman.
Yeah.
So, but that's really all there is to it.
But I guess if there's a difference between casting an Asian actress and the movie just kind of falling into obscurity because people aren't seeing it because they don't know who the headliner is.
Yeah.
Versus the same people seeing it because Scarlett Johansson is in it to boost those like first couple weeks numbers.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe it's worth it to have, because more people are seeing this Asian story, even if you have to kind of whitewash it with Scarlett Johansson.
Right.
To get people to like, you're wrapping this sushi roll in a hamburger shell. Is that, no, that's a good analogy. Not everybody's going to like sushi.
Yeah.
So you stuff it inside of a hamburger. And then after they eat it, you're like, hey, guess what? There was sushi in that. And they're like, that wasn't bad.
And they're like, yeah, I know. I tasted fish in a hamburger. Like, it's not really a good argument at all.
No, because the Ghost in the Shell story is the sushi.
Mm-hmm.
And Scarlett Johansson is the bacon cheeseburger.
Right.
That is wrapping itself around the sushi.
Yeah. So completely forgetting that all of that happened just now.
Okay.
All of those things were said. I'm going to continue to call this movie Old Man Logan, regardless of the fact that it's called Logan. It's just called Logan. I want it to be called Old Man Logan. I want to believe that that's exactly what it's called. And I wish that movie executives would quit trying to dumb down the names of everything. It's Old Man Logan, and by God, that's what it is.
I kind of like Logan, though.
Do you? It's not telling the same story as the comic book does.
No, for sure not.
Yeah, it's a completely different story. So, I mean, to that end, maybe it shouldn't be called Old Man Logan because it's not telling that story.
Yeah, well, and I think the name Logan is very evocative of what the movie's about.
Yeah.
I guess that's a little simplistic. Like, it's got his fucking name right there. It's about Logan. What do you want? But, I mean, it's his last movie as Wolverine. This is more, from the trailers anyway, more about him as a person and not about him as just, Weapon X Wolverine.
Right, yeah.
So it's got a very humanizing name to it. Granted, Old Man Logan does too.
Yeah.
Old Man Logan's a better name as for the comic for sure.
Yeah.
But I think just the movie being called Logan, they're going for that kind of iconic sound,
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose that's true. And it doesn't really make you think that it's about Wolverine too. Like even people who aren't necessarily, they're still in the comics, but they're not super big in the comics, or maybe they're not into X-Men or Marvel as much. If you would have called it Old Man Logan, then they immediately would have thought of the comic book, even if they hadn't really read it, because I'm sure they'd heard of it.
Yeah.
So where this is just, it's Logan, it could be anything really, right up until you see oh, it's, Wolverine. So what did you think of the trailer itself?
I thought the trailer was fantastic.
Placed to Johnny Cash's
cover of Hurt.
Yeah, cover of Hurt. I brain farted, sorry.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was a good use of the song. I think that song can be a little overdone because it's so well known as a cover.
Yeah. It's been used as a lot of in a lot of movies as well.
Do what?
It's been used in a lot of movies as well.
Yeah, because it's a fantastic cover.
Yeah.
So I can read the plot summary from 20th Century Fox.
Okay.
I guess maybe it's spoilery. I mean, it's the plot summary. I don't know.
Okay, so potential spoilers, but...
Set in the future, Logan and Professor Charles Xavier must cope with the loss of the X-Men when a corporation led by Nathaniel Essex is destroying the world, leaving it to destruction. With Logan's healing ability slowly fading away and Xavier's Alzheimer's forcing him to forget. Logan must defeat Nathaniel Essex with the help of a young girl named Laura Kinney, a female clone of Wolverine. Punctuated by that meowing cat in the background.
Yeah, that's what was throwing me off. A female clone of Wolverine.
Yeah, she's what is her name? X-22? X-23? Yeah, X-23.
Okay.
She's been a character in the comics for quite a while now.
Okay. See, I didn't know that. She's got 2 calls
that come out. She's adamantium.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I didn't know about her at all, so it's been a while since I've read it in comics. I think we've established that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you think it's going to be rated R? Because they haven't put a rating to it yet.
I mean, they said that it was going to be.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It depends on how violent they go with it. I think they would be doing a disservice if they went PG-13, especially for Wolverine's last, trip out.
Yeah.
It would be good to go really, not even necessarily bloody, but to just not have to worry about going under to get that PG-13 rating.
Right. I think it's very easy for the studio to renege on that, though.
Yeah.
I do recall that we watched the States trailer, but in the European trailer, when he punctuates that last line in the Hurt song, I will find a way. Instead of him blocking whatever was coming at him, he actually has a thug that he has like under the chin with his fist, and he just extends his claws right up through the guy's head. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
And that's an iconic shot from, I think he does it to Sabretooth. Somebody he kills that way in the comic, like puts his fist underneath him and just straight through the head.
Snick it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that about wraps up everything we have to say about Logan, yeah?
Yeah, I think it looks good and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, me too. Well, I guess maybe not the entirety of everything that I wanted to say about it. What do you think of how Professor X is being portrayed, or the fact that he's alive in this realm? Because I mean, here's the thing I have. I haven't seen the other X-Men movies since the one that Xavier died. So I don't know. Did they bring him back in an alternate timeline? Is that what happened in the canon of the other movies?
Well, he's alive in first class. You don't see him, I don't think.
Yeah.
But he's alive in Days of Future Past.
Okay.
And you see him in the future too, because in Days of Future Past, it takes place in 2 alternate timelines. It takes place in the timeline where mutants start to get hunted down. So you see Patrick Stewart as Xavier living in like this post-apocalyptic world with Magneto.
Okay.
And then at the end of the movie, when they fix everything, that timeline gets wiped out and you go back to current timeline where Professor X is still alive. Beast is like Kelsey Grammer's Beast is there. Jean Grey, I can't remember the actress that played her, and then she turned evil in the Phoenix Saga and killed herself.
Yeah.
She is back again alive. So basically Days of Future Past retconned X-Men 2 and 3.
Okay.
And kind of wiped those out as if they never happened.
Okay, gotcha. That's weird.
So it would make sense that he's alive in Logan, depending on when it's set, what year, which I assume it's set.
I think it was like 2026 or something.
Okay. So that would make sense that Xavier's still alive, because in Days of Future Past, he's still alive. I mean, he's super old.
Yeah.
But
gotcha. All right, so I just wanted to clear that up a little bit since I hadn't really seen any of it.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman trailer looks good.
Yeah.
I mean, none of these trailers really looked bad to me, you know?
Right. I mean, they're big budget films, and Wonder Woman looks like it's really it looks like it's taking place in the World War. It looks like it's taking place World War II ish.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Pine, is that the guy who played Captain Kirk in the new movies? Right, Chris Pine.
I have no idea, man. I'm terrible at actors' names.
Why do I pay you to do anything?
I don't know, because I waste it. I waste the money and I don't learn anything.
Yes, it's Chris Pine. Chris Pine is playing I don't have the name or anything pulled up for him, but he's playing a character opposite Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot. I don't know how to say her name.
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot. Okay. So, thank you.
Gal Gadot.
I don't. I didn't know how to say it. Don't judge me. So yeah, he's playing a character opposite her. He's it seems like he's walking her through this world that she's never been in before after leaving the Amazonian islands.
Well, and I haven't seen Batman v Superman.
Right.
But whenever they show Wonder Woman, at one point they're looking through Lex Luthor's files.
Yeah.
And you see a picture of Wonder Woman with this guy. Or you see a picture of this guy or something, and this was like her kind of love interest, and that's who this guy is.
Ah, okay, I see.
So it was all kind of set up for this movie.
So was there anything that stood out to you specifically that you're excited about the trailer itself, or was it just, it looks like it's going to be a good movie?
I liked the style they did with it. It felt like they did kind of a grittiness to her fighting.
Yeah.
Which I think... And it's probably because I'm not a big Wonder Woman fan that it doesn't bother me as much as say the Superman grittiness of the Superman movies. I think a Wonder Woman World War movie can stand to have a little bit of that grittiness.
I agree with you there, and I don't think it's as gritty as those new Batman and the Batman v Superman and the Superman movies have been. I really think that there is enough brightness to just how it's shot, the color grading itself. It's a warmer feel. It's not it's color graded more to the red yellow side and less to that blue side that they seem to be color grading the other movies at. Yeah.
Well, in the fight scene that they show where she's in kind of the small room and she's using her sword and I think she throws her shield. She throws her shield or kicks her shield or something.
I don't recall.
And it's like a real quick, like 10-second, 15-second fight scene that she does.
Mm-hmm.
I really like how that was shot.
Yeah. I like where she's blocking the bullets from hitting Chris Pine when they're in the alleyway.
Yeah.
That was
if
really
there's
cool.
one thing I think DC really does well in their movies is that they really get that like weight that would happen in a fist fight. Like in a close combat fight, I think they really do well shooting it and writing it.
Yeah. So any other comments on Wonder Woman at all? Is it going to be one that you would see in the theater?
I mean, barring aside the fact that I don't ever see movies in theaters at all, really.
Yeah.
If I was more open to seeing movies, yes, for sure.
Right.
I just don't ever really go to the theater at all. Like, there's very few movies that ever draw me out to see them.
Mm-hmm.
I think just because I don't like sitting in a theater for however many hours, I'd rather watch it when it comes out to stream. I can watch it from home.
Yeah, I got you. All right, then, let's move on to the Guardians of the Galaxy. Volume 2. What'd you think of it?
I also liked it.
You're not helping. You're not helping at all.
I know. I'm not great at finding different ways to say I liked it. But I mean, yeah, it looks good too. I loved the first Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought it was a fantastic movie.
Yeah, I think so as well. And this one looks like it's really stacking up to be just right in line with it. There's the whole exchange between
Star-Lord
and Drax, yes, the Destroyer, where Drax gives him a hug. And it really seems out of character for Drax to even consider giving anybody a hug. And I think that's kind of what I enjoy most, is that there's there's no question that Marvel, and especially in the Guardians franchise, is really poking fun at its properties, at its, at the characters, at the interactions between the characters. And I really enjoy that.
Yeah. And I wonder if when we see the movie, there's a reason, if there's an explanation for why Drax is offering him a hug. Like, I feel like that scene by itself is funny, but it probably, wrapped in the surrounding scenes, there's a reason why. Like, maybe a hug is explained to him at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, where it could be, oh, well, this is what a hug is, because he seems very oblivious of other cultures and things that happen within them.
Yeah.
So,
well, as far as the story goes in the first one, like, he had a family, he had kids, so I mean, Drax is doing it.
That's true, but his societal upbringing might be completely different than that of a human. Because even Star-Lord is a little put off at the fact that he is forcing a hug on him. Because in our society, generally speaking, a man doesn't give another man a hug.
Yeah.
By and large.
I think it's more that Drax is shirtless.
Maybe. Could be. Or, could probably tear Star-Lord's arms off.
Yeah.
Because Drax is honestly a very powerful character.
I think that Dave Bautista did a fantastic job of bringing Drax to life.
I agree. I think Dave has really brought it for Drax.
Well, and I know whenever we did our live panel, we were talking about the Blade Runner movie that's coming out next year, I think. I think it's next year. And Dave Bautista is cast in that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I kind of made a joke about like, oh, this is going to be a classic just like the first one with Dave Bautista in it. But really, like, I guess we've only seen him in Guardians of the Galaxy, and he plays a very monotone character.
Yeah.
I don't know if playing a character like that would mean you'd have to be a really good actor, or would mean that it would be an easy character to play when you're first starting out acting, because all you have to do is not act. All you have to do is just be as flat as possible.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I don't think that Dave would be a particularly bad actor. Like, previous wrestlers tend to get a bad rap when it comes to acting, because they tend to be more over the top, because they kind of have to be. I mean, wrestling in itself is a stage acting gig, only far more physical. So,
yeah.
But by and large, you almost have to oversell your characters, because there are people out in the stands watching you. So
yeah, that's true. You've got to play to the furthest person in the audience.
Yeah, you have to embellish everything so they know what's happening. I think The Rock does a pretty good job in everything that he's done. So there are only a few times where I've watched several of The Rock's movies, and there are times where he just seems to be pushing just a little too hard.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not something that completely takes me out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I guess it does kind of speak to professional wrestling. Granted, you're not seeing professional wrestlers constantly crossing over into acting.
Right. But
it does say something about just the training of being a professional wrestler, that it can translate to actually acting in a movie.
Yeah.
Like Dave Bautista, I guess I don't know his history, so I can't say 100%, but there's a very good chance, I'll go out on a limb and say, that he didn't go to a fucking acting school.
Right.
He didn't go to like Harvard for stage theater,
Yeah. Speaking of wrestlers crossing over, just a real quick one-off, Cody Rhodes is playing a bad guy in a story arc in the Arrow right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's pretty interesting. He's fallen into a vat of chemicals and no longer feels pain and has gained some super strength. So,
have you been watching Ash vs. Evil Dead? Have you kept up with season 2?
Yes, to a point. We quit recording it because we kept forgetting to set it up, but we can watch it on demand.
Oh, okay. I need to come over and catch up on it, because I got the first episode, but I haven't watched any past that. And I think they're probably on 3 or 4 now.
Yeah, something like that.
What do you think of what you've seen so far?
4 or 5, actually. I'm really enjoying it. It's definitely taking a turn.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
a good turn, like an entertaining good turn.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit more realism because Ash's dad comes into the picture. So, and that whole exchange was really good. Although I don't want to spoil what happens. So I'll let you catch up before we talk about that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to catch up in the next week or so. Maybe talk about it. Totally off of trailers too, but if we're talking about shows we've been watching, I've been keeping up with American Horror Story, the new season.
Yeah.
I did not like it at first at all.
Oh, really?
But they have you heard anything about it?
No, and it's not really one of those shows that I've put any interest into either.
Yeah, I know you're not a big horror fan, and especially American Horror Story. I think that American Horror Story is a great show. It's a fantastic show.
A lot of people love it. It's not my bag.
Yeah, last season was my favorite season, and The Hotel was great. But anyway, so real quick rundown of what this season is. And I'm going to get spoilery up to episode 6. So if you haven't watched it and you're wanting to watch it completely unmolested of knowledge, I guess skip the next 5 minutes or whatever.
Okay.
But anyway, so what it is it's called American Horror Story, My Roanoke Nightmare. And what it is American Horror Stories always, it's just an acted show. Like it starts and it's here's your characters, here's what's happening. It's a TV show. Well, this time they started with episode 1 opened up with the following depictions are actors. The situations that are depicted are real.
Yeah.
So you're watching a documentary about this house. So it's this couple that moves into a house and they're being chased by settlers from, I don't know, the 1700s or whatever. Do you know about the Lost Roanoke colony in real life?
No.
There was a colony in Roanoke, Virginia. They had a particularly hard winter. The other colonies lost contact with them. After the winter was over, they went to find and check on this Roanoke colony, and the colony was gone.
Okay. Like straight up gone, or just all the people were gone?
The people.
Okay.
Like things were just left. It was like the village was abandoned.
Uh-huh.
And the only thing left was on a tree they had carved the word Croatoan, which is a Native American word.
Right.
So in actuality, what happened more than likely, like in real life, is people hold it up as this big mystery, not really talking about how like 10, 15 miles away, there was a Native American tribe on the island of Croatoan.
Yeah.
And the settlers just went there. Like the Native Americans said, hey, you guys are dying. You want to come live with us? And they were like, yeah, sure.
Okay.
So that's really what happened. But people hold it up as this big mystery. So anyway, in American Horror Story, these are the settlers. And it's this story that like they made a deal with a forest witch. And so now they haunt this land and have to keep it fed with blood.
Okay.
Like, you know, it goes. But anyway, so the first 5 episodes are you're watching a reenactment. And then episode 5 ends with like the reenactment you're watching is done.
Yeah.
So then episode 6 starts with the director of My Roanoke Nightmare filming himself going to the studio executives and saying, hey, My Roanoke Nightmare was super popular, so I want to do a sequel, and I want to get the actors and the people that the story was based on all back into this haunted house and set up like fake scares and film them and do a sequel to My Roanoke Nightmare.
Okay.
So it got super meta because now you have the actors in the reenactment plus the original characters that those actors were based on all living in this house together as shit starts to go down for real.
I gotcha. Okay.
So one of the things that they do that I'm really impressed with is when you watch the first 5 episodes with the reenactment, you see the ghosts, and the ghosts are creepy, but like TV creepy, and things are like the show is disgustingly bloody. It's the bloodiest, most body horror episodes or season of American Horror Story I've ever seen.
Gotcha.
But anyway, so once they go from stage documentary to real life, you see these same ghosts, but they made the effects way more practical and way more like, you know, you see in one of the scenes in the first 5 episodes, you see this ghost of like an English gentleman.
Yeah.
And he's very proper looking and he's got his wig and he's like, follow me, I'll lead you out.
Yeah.
When you see him in real life, he doesn't speak and like he's bathed in shadow. And when he doesn't talk, he just like opens his mouth like a horror movie and just lets out this scream.
Yeah.
So the ghosts in real life versus the ghosts in the reenactments are way creepier.
Gotcha.
It's just one of those little details that I think really sells this season.
I gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, I know I kind of went off on that, but I'm sort of in love with My Roanoke Nightmare right now. It's pretty good.
That's cool. Yeah, and it's interesting to see them be really meta about it and really change up the way that not only they're doing the effects, but also just doing the storytelling itself.
Well, and when they start episode 6, when everybody goes into this house, what you're seeing is the hidden cameras that they put in the house, and they also gave a little handheld camera to each person in the house.
Yeah.
So you're not seeing anything filmed from like an actual TV camera. Everything you're watching is from cameras in the ceiling and then people holding cameras.
Gotcha.
I mean, granted, there's some shots that are kind of fudged if you think too much about it. It's like, who would be filming that right now?
Right, yeah.
But one of the things that they do is right when they get everybody in there, the screen pops up and it's like, this is what was left of the people who stayed in the house. There was only one survivor.
Yeah.
So they tell you right when it starts, everybody but one person's going to die. And they also tell you you're now watching another TV show. So it's like a TV show. It's 3 layers deep of TV shows you're watching. So they've kind of played with that of how real is this? How much of this is now also a reenactment?
Yeah.
If they've played it well, if they've seeded this stuff enough that they have like a finality to it,
yeah,
it's going to be fantastic. If they've just kind of seeded this stuff for the sake of seeming like there's more story and then it just ends with a bunch of loose ends, which American Horror Story sometimes does,
yeah,
it's going to be a bit disappointing.
I gotcha.
So we'll see. But yeah, I'm liking it.
Oh, cool. I'd give you more excitement, but I just don't know anything about it.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm fine. I got enough excitement for both of us.
Good. I'm glad.
Gun fingers.
Yeah. Shocking tongue thing.
Tongue in between.
Yeah.
It's all there.
So Donnie Yen, we've talked about Donnie Yen before, and Donnie Yen is actually making an appearance in the XXX movie.
He's one of the main bad guys, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the initial bad guy, and it looks like from that trailer, you guys should really go watch it. Those of you who are listening, it's I mean, if you like action movies and just kind of silly action movies, it looks like it'll be a good waste of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Donnie Yen is going to be in that. Starts off as a bad guy, and it looks like they become partners near the end. Donnie Yen is also in Rogue One, which is going to be the last one that we talk about, because they've become, there have been 3 trailers that have come out for it so far.
Yes, and there's no more. That was the final trailer.
Right. So we went back and we re-watched all of the trailers. Are you still just as excited about it as you were before? Did you learn anything new? Because you said you had not watched the 3rd trailer, correct?
Yeah, I thought I'd watched them all, but I hadn't seen all of them, because you see that shot in the 3rd trailer of that Jedi statue that's kind of covered in sand and is just being revealed the time like it's been there for a long time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm super, super excited for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to see it opening weekend for sure. And, you know, from going back to like 8 months to a year ago when it was announced and the first trailer came out, I wasn't totally on board. You know, we talked about it and I just wasn't excited about a war story.
Right, yeah. So now you feel that you are more excited then?
Oh, for sure. I've definitely come around on it. I mean, it looks badass. Like, yeah, the trailers show that this is going to be pretty much an espionage war story. It's not going to be your Star Wars story in the typical sense of the hero's journey.
Yeah.
It's going to be here's your characters. They got to get to point X and they've got the bad guys in the way.
Right.
You know, to distill it down. But yeah, I think it looks awesome. It looks super, super Star Warsy.
Yeah, it really does. And I think Donnie Yen's character, he is playing Chirrut Imwe, he's a blind. He has at least a spiritual connection to the Force from the sounds of it, and it also looks like maybe he might be Force sensitive, but not necessarily a Jedi.
From what I understand, is he is Force sensitive and he uses the Force to see, but he's not a Force user.
Right. So really all of his focus has become using the Force in a sense to see, as a 6th sense. And I can get behind that.
Yeah, and this is all speculation. You know, it could very easily be that it comes out and he uses like Force pull. And he's just not a Jedi. Yeah. But he still uses the Force.
Yeah. And we also see in the 3rd trailer the introduction of Jen's father, who's played by Mads Mikkelsen. who, huh?
I was gonna say that guy, at least in this trailer, always looks wet and greasy.
He does. He really does. He's playing the antagonist in Doctor Strange.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he plays the main antagonist, Caecilius. I don't know if that's how you say the name because I haven't watched the movie yet, but so yeah, he's playing the main antagonist. So it's so funny when you see multiple people, and that's one of the reasons why I brought up Donnie Yen playing in Triple X, is that, you know, he finished up Rogue One, now he's going over and he's doing Triple X, and here we have Mads Mikkelsen, who's in Rogue One, and he just finished up doing Doctor Strange.
And Donnie Yen, I mean, going to the whitewashing thing we talked about earlier with Ghost in the Shell, I mean, that is a good positive example of using an Asian character or using an Asian actor as a character that's not just focused on him being Asian.
Right.
Like, I guess we'll see in Triple X, you know, maybe there's a point where he's eating cross-legged on the floor, you know, eating sushi wrapped in hamburger or whatever.
Right.
But even then, like, I think that is a good step forward for movies in general, that you're now able to have an Asian character, and it's not just they're an Asian character because we needed an Asian guy. Right. We needed somebody to talk about Buddha for 5 minutes in the script, so we made random guy Asian.
Right, yeah. I'm sure there'll be enough of that in Doctor Strange anyway.
Yeah, Doctor Strange is getting really good reviews. I haven't seen it yet, and I do plan on it.
Yeah, I haven't either, and it's one of those ones that we definitely... Ginger and I think we would both like to watch it because we do want to see the Marvel movies. We're really into those. But that one has a lot of cinematography that really pushes what she is capable of watching without, you know, getting sick from it. Yeah. Because she doesn't have the
very vertigo inducing.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, that one might be one where we're going to have to kind of fudge around when it comes to watching it. She might have to listen more to it than watch it.
Yeah.
So
I'll go see it with you, buddy. We can go see the movie together.
Oh, yeah. So I think that about wraps us up for the evening.
Yeah. Oh, with the Rogue One, I have to say, though, that robot looks like the fucking coolest robot I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, doesn't he?
Does he not?
Yeah, he totally does.
I pulled it up because I keep wanting to call him KRS-One, which is a rapper.
Yeah.
K2SO or K2S0.
Okay. K2SO.
Yeah, just every time you see him, everything he says is awesome.
Yeah.
Like the way he says, "Masters told me not to kill you," in just the most flat way.
Yeah, yeah. It's shaping up. It looks like it. I mean, you expect a Star Wars movie, a Star Wars story to be good. I mean, that's just, it can't not be. You know what I mean? But it's...
Yeah, but that's dangerous thinking. That's dangerous thinking to think that it can't.
Sure it is. It absolutely is. But I think that they're going to do the absolute best that they possibly can with each of these one-off stories. And I think they're going to fit very well into the universe. I am really interested in seeing at any point if they bring Ahsoka Tano into it. You remember who Ahsoka is?
Yeah, she was Anakin's Padawan, right?
Right. And now that was a creation by the director / producer of Clone Wars and Rebels.
Didn't her story kind of end with her not being light or dark? Like she just kind of left.
She left the light side. She's more of a, not sticking with canon or anything, but she's more of a shadow Jedi. She's still
a Rouge Jedi.
Yeah, a Rouge Jedi. Rouge. And right now in the series, we don't really know what's happened to her yet either. She confronts Vader, and in order for the rebels to escape, she is left behind. So, without giving too much away, because I really think that you'd enjoy this series if you sat down and watched it, if you can find a way to watch it.
This is Rebels?
Yeah.
Or Clone Wars?
Rebels.
Okay.
So, without giving too much away on that, it's we don't know what's happened to her. I'm sure we'll see her again, because, quite frankly, he and the fans love Ahsoka so much. They've really come around to her. Because when she was first introduced, it was like, I don't know how this is going to work out. But
yeah.
But
Yeah, that seems like a thread they would leave dangling intentionally.
Oh yeah, for sure.
One of those threads that like they leave hanging so long and everybody's like, when are you going to pull on that thread again? And they're just like, are we going to? Nope.
Yeah.
Are we going to pull it now? Nope.
Yeah.
So when they do and they finally just yank it down and fucking confetti flies everywhere.
Right. All right. Anyway, let's do shout outs.
Shout outs this week. We have Viscount Terry W. Irvin II.
Right.
Who actually has a new book coming out soon.
Yes.
I don't think there's a release date on it. Thunder Wells, he talked about it in the episode where we interviewed him a couple months ago.
Right.
But the last I read, he has gotten it back from his editor. He's making some final revisions, and then it's going to go off to print.
Yeah.
I think I saw on his Facebook page for Flankers, which is the Facebook page for Flankhawk, his fantasy series.
Yeah.
He mentioned that he's hoping to have it out, I think, by mid-December.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, he suggested we play an old school board game called Diplomacy.
Right. I've heard of it before.
It's best with 7 players, no luck involved, just planning, intricate diplomacy, and backstabbing.
Uh-huh.
I believe there are online computer versions as well.
Huh.
The problem is, between the two of us, we don't have
7
5
friends.
other friends that would play with us.
Exactly.
And then Stephen Hines, who we have pretty much avoided calling the Diamond Man.
It's true.
Said that we will be his spicy boys, and the werewolf folklore was very interesting. He also asked if we knew the origin of the silver bullet.
Right.
So we went through and answered that as best as we could there.
Yeah, if you want to see that, go ahead and do that. We won't read those on air.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, and that's all we had.
Yeah, I do want to say I just started collecting amiibos, and it's a horrible money sink, and I need to just not do it.
Okay. Okay.
They release them. It's not exactly like Skylanders. Nintendo releases them. They're these little statues, and they have you see how thick this base is?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's got a chip or how it works exactly, but it's a reader, and you can put it on. If you have a new 3DS, you can put it straight on the screen, or if you have a Wii or a Wii U, I think it's just Wii U, you can put it on that and read it.
Okay.
And say I'm playing Super Smash Brothers and I'm playing as Ganon, I can put this amiibo on there, and now I can level up this Ganon.
Okay.
And then I can take it to other friends' houses and drop it down, and I've got this Ganon here. So it stores information.
Gotcha. Okay. It's NFC is what it's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've only got 2 so far. I've got this one, and I've got Mega Man.
Nice. That's cool.
I don't have a Wii U. I don't have a new 3DS, so I have no need to own these.
Right.
But a guy I work with gave me this one.
Uh-huh.
And then I saw this one in the bargain bin at NASA and had to pick it up.
Right.
So now already I just keep playing with them, and I'm like, these are so cool. I need to get so many more. So that's my new collection obsession that I need to try to keep in check.
I gotcha. So if you have any questions or comments or you'd like to hear yourself on air, you can call us at 978-DU-OGRES. That's 978-386-4737. You can also reach us on Twitter at Dueling Ogres, email us at duelingogres@gmail.com, or leave a comment on the Facebook page. No additional things that you want to throw in while I'm reading this?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Sometimes you talk in between my paragraphs here.
Yeah, that's if I have a running joke or something that you've cut me off from saying.
Right.
Which you tend to do a lot.
Yeah.
But this time, no. Nothing.
Oh. Well, then I guess you all should go over to our website and read some of the articles that maybe you haven't read, or listen to some of the episodes that you haven't listened to. And if any of you have any interest in writing for us, you can email us at duelingogres. No, you can email us at bloggers@duelingogres.com. Send us an article that you think you might want to publish. We'll do one-offs if you don't want to continue writing for us. Just want to get your word out. That's fine. We can get behind that. And finally, last but not least, be sure to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, or find us on Podbean, iHeartRadio, or Satchel, where you can donate to the show, and nearly anywhere else you can find a podcast. So until next week. Yeah.
Well, I just want to take a moment real quick, because I think it's been a while since we've said it. I just want to say to the people that are listening, Remington and I both really appreciate the listening and the comment and the support and the downloads. And not to get sappy, but we know that the amount of people that are downloading versus the amount of people that are commenting, the amount of people that are commenting is very small compared to the amount of total listeners we have.
Yeah.
So even if you're not commenting and we're not interacting with you, the fact that we see these numbers and we see people continuing and the numbers growing as people continue to download, it means a lot to both of us, and we appreciate it. Because really, like, I know people say this on this online shit all the time, but like that is a big reason why we do it, is to know that somebody is enjoying what we're doing.
Yeah.
So thank you to everybody that is listening, downloading, sharing, whatever it is you're doing, even if you're just downloading it on a computer that you built specifically to inflate our numbers.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
And, you know, don't be shy. I mean, I know it seems like we are these big, you know, larger than life characters, but don't be shy. Please feel free to comment on anything we've said. We won't chew you out for it. We'll probably cry.
Mm-hmm. We do a lot.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time crying. So there's that. Don't be shy and leave some comments on the Facebook pages or the Twitters or on the website itself, wherever you want. We'd appreciate it.
Just stick it anywhere is what we're saying.
Just stick it in anywhere. You know, just wrap it up and stick it in.
Flop it around. Whatever you want to do.
Just
really,
smack your comments off of our forehead. You know. Call us with sexy innuendos, you know. Do those things. Or don't, you know. We wish you would, because our sex lives are, you know. I mean. So until next week, ogres, keep your clubs blunt.
And your tusks sharp.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
So by the time this episode is out, we are going to have a new president-elect.
Yep.
That's crazy.
That's a thing. We're going to have a new idiot to bitch about.
Yeah. I'm really interested to see how all of this goes.
I'm really not. Is that where you want the webcam?
What, where it is on mine?
Yeah.
Where else would I put it?
Bring it down a little bit more, unless you're going to be sitting up like that most of the time. If you're going to be sitting up like that, then you're fine. Right? Yep, right there to your dick.
There's the money shot.
That's what I wanted. Yeah.
Hey.
Hey. Look at you. You're just adorable. I'm going to put this box right up here so it looks like, even when I'm looking at the camera, it looks like I'm looking at you. Or when I'm looking at you, I'm also looking at the camera, is what it looks like.
Does it look like I'm looking at you?
Well, I mean, I can't really tell because all I see is glare from your glasses.
That's good. I'm like an anime mysterious guy, right?
Yeah.
The guy who's like, we will get it done. Shing!
Yeah. The scientist who's looking really close to something and slightly adjusts his glasses very serious. You gotta close the mouth. Close the mouth. Make it real pert. Not butthole lips. Pert. Like, there you go. Yeah. I said no butthole lips. What's happening? Bad. Yo soy no comprende. Oh, it's awful.
I know. I can't stop now.
It's so bad. Pull up shout outs and stuff, that way we have some others, because we're gonna have to really get moving on this.
Okay. So you want to we'll just talk about trailers, right? That's what we'll do.
Yeah, we'll do trailers. We'll do a little intro, and then I'll play my stinger, and then we'll fucking yeehaw! Circle the wagons. It's a trailer roundup.
Dude, I really love that. I really do.
Do you really?
Yeah, I genuinely, it makes me laugh every time I hear
it. and it'll be the first time that we've done like an official stinger that we've.
Yeah. We got one like, but we got one dislike, so we're net even.
Yeah.
We got 2 dislikes or unlikes.
Oh, it's probably people deleting their Facebook.
No, it's people that hate us.
No.
Does it only become a snuff film if you start jerking off?
Yes.
Okay.